Hi, I'm Alyne. Welcome to my kitchen. And today I'm making something new. Something I've been wanting to try. Never tried it. But I saw it when I made, I was in the hashtag Noodle November 2022 when I was doing my collaboration with that. I saw some people making pierogies. And I thought, I really want to try pierogies. And for those of you who don't know, pierogies are a Polish dumpling. And they're supposedly very good. I've had a lot of people tell me they're really good. They look good. So I have a recipe for one that I've had for some time, never tried it. And it is called mushroom apple pierogies. And I've been wanting to try this. I'm finally going to do it, y'all. Whether it turns out or not, at least I tried. And we're going to put this video out. Pass or fail.
And the thing about a fail is you can see what maybe went wrong and figure out what it would take to fix what went wrong and try it again.
Yep. So we'll go over my ingredients here. For the pierogies themselves, for the dough, I have 1/4 cup of smooth applesauce, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I have 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and I accidentally put my oil in my kosher salt. And y'all won't know what? It's all going in the same place anyway, so I'm just going to let it sit there. It calls for sour cream for serving. I'll have the sour cream and some extra applesauce out when I get ready to get these cooked and ready to serve. Calls for 2 large eggs. I've got medium eggs. I'm going to use medium eggs. Calls for 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. I've got 2½ cups of flour in there. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I have that right here. And it calls for a 1/2 cup of warm water, which I have right here. Now for the filling. The filling's the good stuff, y'all. I'll just use my little thing here so I can point to what I got. It calls for 5 slices of bacon. I've got bacon cooked and chopped here. It's 5 whole slices. It calls for 8 ounces of cremini mushrooms sliced. There's my mushrooms. Fun fact about cremini mushrooms. I did not know what creminis were. I had to look it up because I've heard of them, never seen them, never tried them. Yeah, I have. Cremini mushrooms are the white button mushrooms or the baby bella mushrooms in the different stages. And they said the creminis are actually the baby bellas. And all baby bellas are white button mushrooms at the next stage where they have gone brown. That's what I looked up, that's what I read, and that's what 2 or 3 different sites told me that a cremini mushroom was. It's a baby bella, and a baby bella is nothing more than a white mushroom that has gone brown. So, learned something new when I was doing for this.
So it's just a matter of color.
Matter of color. And the cremini is the actual family that the white button and the baby bellas are in, so it's all the same thing. The creminis can be the white button or the baby bellas, whichever one you can find. I also have another 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. It calls for 1 small onion chopped. I have a shallot because I didn't have any small onions.
And the shallots are small to begin with.
Yes. Calls for 8 ounces of sauerkraut, rinsed. It's drained and rinsed. So that's 8 ounces right there that's been drained and rinsed. I have 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme chopped. That's right here. 2 teaspoons of paprika, which is right here. 1 1/4 cups. It calls for 1 1/4 cups of chunky applesauce. I couldn't find chunky, so I've got 1 1/4 cups of smooth applesauce. That's what I got. That's what I'm going to use. And 1/2 cup of water. So those are my ingredients. Now, what it says to do. Let me get my list. I knew I'd have to do something, not have something out. It says, for the directions, we're going to start with the pierogi dough. Make the pierogi dough. It says whisk the applesauce, vegetable oil, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, and 1/2 cup of warm water in a bowl. So that's what I'm going to do. All this stuff right here goes in the bowl. You have the applesauce.
Here we go. In the bowl. In the bowl.
Yep. Piggy's just singing to us, y'all. Should I tag him in that? Say singing piggy? wonder if anybody would watch to listen. Yeah, I'm trying to get all that out of there, y'all. Okay. Give Piggy that one. I'm going to go ahead and put the oil and the salt in here together.
Get all that goodie out of there.
I'm trying. That. 1 egg. Just a second, I'll put that in there. And the water. And I give that to the piggy. Give that to the piggy because I don't need that right now. Grab a
You
towel.
gonna need it later?
I don't think so.
If you do, I'll just get you another.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got several of them. So I'm whisking this together.
Unless I get to washing them here in a minute.
I'll put the butter and the egg over there because that gets used later.
Whiskey. No, not that kind of whiskey.
Okay, that looks like it's whisked up. Now it says to put the flour in another bowl, which I've done, and stir in the applesauce mixture. I'm gonna give Piggy that right there. I ain't stirring
You
it
done with it?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
All right.
And y'all know me. When it comes to mixing stuff, I will use my hands. So I'm gonna put that in there, and I'm just gonna mix it together.
She's what you call a very hands-on person.
Yes. And mix all this right here together. When it comes to mixing up doughs, I go by feel. I really do. So I know what it feels like when it's all come together. And that's just the way I do it. Okay. A little bit why. It might have just a touch of too much flour. I don't know. I measured it out, but sometimes, depending on the way it settles and the way it measures, you might have just a touch too much. Let's see what we got here.
Just give it a good squeeze.
Yeah, squeeze all that together.
It'll squeeze that fluid through there.
Yeah. Okay, while I'm doing this, I'll say what it says is, then turn the dough out onto a floured surface and knead until smooth. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of flour here on my surface. And y'all, this is the mat that Miss Rita at Rita's Roost ordered for me and sent me.
It's nice, I know that.
I tell you what, Piggy can tell you, this thing gets used every week.
Sometimes, a few times.
I might not.
She loves it for making her biscuits.
I do. When I make biscuits on Sundays, and usually I'll fix biscuits and something on Sundays. Biscuits and gravy or biscuits and sausage, biscuits and bacon, something like that. That's mine and Piggy's day there that we have that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out on top of that. Okay, and it says to knead this. And y'all, I'm not very good at kneading. I usually let my mixer do the kneading for me. But once this is kneaded, and basically kneading, I've been told, is you pull it forward and then you push it away with your heel, the heel of your hand. And once you get it all mixed up and get it smooth, it says to cover it, to dusting with flour as needed, cover with plastic wrap, and set aside for about 30 minutes. So, I'm pretty much there. It is relatively smooth to what I can tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Piggy hand my bowl back over here, the flour bowl. And I'm going to set it in that and cover it. That way I can set it aside and do what I got to do.
They have to go in the fridge or just set
Nope,
it
just
aside?
set it aside.
Okay.
That allows the dough time to rest.
Alright.
so that it can be used. We
Alright.
got it covered, so we can just set it right over there.
How about I set it over here
That'll work too.
where it's easier for me to reach because I got a feeling I'll be the one reaching for it.
Yeah, give me that.
Down.
All right, y'all. Got my hands washed. Got my stuff set up here. Now, all the directions it says cook your bacon now, but I've already got my bacon cooked and chopped, so that's fine. Now you say pour off all your bacon with about 2 tablespoons. I've got about 2 tablespoons of bacon in here. Bacon grease, y'all. Bacon drippings, the bacon grease, not the bacon.
Gold.
Yeah, the liquid gold. We got that in there. Now it says to add the mushrooms, season with salt, and cook over high heat. All right, so I'm going to put this up on about 6 because I do mine on medium high on the 6 part. Because if I put mine on high, it's going to burn. High heat, stirring until browned, about 4 minutes. Then add the onion and cook until soft, about 4 more minutes. So I'll put these in.
In they went.
In they went. I'll add the salt. And again, that is kosher salt, y'all.
They're an airborne unit. Dive. Jump.
Setting the timer for 4 minutes. And I'm going to stir these really well. And I'm just going to let them cook. I've got that salt. And I'll be stirring them throughout. And what we'll do is I'll go ahead and take a break while I'm cooking these for the 4 minutes. Then I'll come back when it's time to add the onion. And we'll go through the process of what we're doing.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
There she is.
Okay, y'all. It's down to about 25 seconds now. And figure show you'll see what the mushrooms look like after almost 4 minutes.
Here comes the flying piggy.
Yeah. They cook down, but there is some liquid in there, and that's the liquid that is cooked out of the mushroom. Mushrooms are mostly water, actually.
All right.
All right.
Time to land this piggy.
And we're going to add the scallion. Not scallion, but the shallots. I'll get it right, y'all. I'll figure out what I got here saying. Put the shallots in. Put that piggy. Stir that up and let this cook for another 4 minutes. And then once this cooks, we'll add these 4 remaining ingredients here, and then we'll go from there. So we'll see you in about another 4 minutes. All right, y'all, we're about 5 seconds now. And this is what the mushrooms and the shallots look like after cooking an extra 4 minutes. Now it says to add the kraut. And I've got the kraut going in. Add the thyme. Paprika.
510.
Applesauce. And then I forgot the water while ago. Y'all saw it. It was 5 ingredients instead of 4 I had to add. But I got to add the water as well. And I'm only adding 1 cup of the applesauce. It said to reserve the other 4th cup to add when you add the bacon. Now I'm going to add the water, 1/2 cup. I'm going to stir this together, and it says bring it to a simmer and cook covered for 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to cut this down on the heat to about 3. I'm going to stir this up. Make sure everything's stirred up very well. And y'all, this smells good. And I'm sure if y'all wanted to make this as a vegetarian option, you could leave the bacon out. I don't know why you would want to, but you know, if you didn't want the bacon, I'm
To each their own on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure if you don't want the bacon, you don't have to add the bacon. But we're going to cook this for 5 minutes, which is what it said to do. until the mushrooms get really good and tender. So we will see y'all back here in about 5 minutes, and we'll finish this up, and then we'll get started on making the actual pierogies. All right, it's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and stir this real quick. Oh, y'all, that looks so good.
5 minutes. Just 5 minutes.
I'm saying that looks so good. Now I need to add the bacon. And again, if you don't want to add bacon, that's entirely up to you. Maybe you could add some chopped apples, or cooked chopped apples or something like that, or something else that you might want to add. And we'll add the applesauce. That's 1/4 of a cup there. Okay. And what it says to do after this is to stir all this together. Well, I'm going to do that. Stir it together. And that is done. I'll cut this off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this bowl here and set it aside. The dough has to sit for 30 minutes to rest. I've got about maybe 15 minutes left on the dough for it to finish resting. So I'm going to let this right here sit in the sit in the bowl and cool for a little bit before I actually make the pierogies. And then hopefully in about 15 minutes this will have set enough to cool off so I can work with it here in a little bit. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes to get started on making the actual pierogies, cooking them, and going from there. Bye, y'all.
Word about more.